This is me traveling in a car at 200 miles per hour while speedrunning Mario Kart. A little bit ago, I got the chance to travel over to the Daytona International Speedway and ride as a passenger in one of the cars. And I thought, wow, this would be a great time to speedrun Mario Kart. Now the speedway is 2.5 miles long, and the company we worked with gave me the chance to ride along for 8 laps. That equals out to just around 6 minutes of being on the track, so I decided to challenge myself with completing 3 of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe while going on the ride. So let's start it off with a nice little countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Not the best countdown I've ever done in my life, but look, I was nervous. But before we get into all the troubles of doing this speedrun, the first thing I should explain is we use the Nintendo Switch's recording feature to get this gameplay. And the bad thing about it is it can only record up to 30 seconds at the same time, meaning I had to hit the record button a bunch. And basically what that results in, as you can see on the screen, is every time we do it, we are going to lose a couple frames. Still, we're updating the timer to make up for that, but yeah, it's a little annoying. Either way, the first track I chose was Baby Park, both because this used to be one of my favorites back in the Double Dash days, and also because it was a fairly easy track, so I could kind of get the hang of the game. Don't worry, we will get onto much harder tracks later on, but for now, I needed to get used to playing this game while it felt like I was constantly being weighed down. It's a little hard to explain, but I both had my hands up the entire time so you could see my head cam, and that was kind of hard to keep up while we were going literally 200 miles an hour. And then there was all the rattling in the car, all the adrenaline. The driver that we were doing this with, his name was Rusty. He was going crazy really close to the walls as well. Like this entire experience, I had so much adrenaline inside me, so I'm really happy I chose one of the easier tracks as the first one so I could get a bit more used to it. Now though, we're on to Big Blue, and this is a stage where you can actually fall off of it. And I also really like this stage specifically because of the song choice. The song is super good in this stage. I love hearing it every single time, even though I couldn't really hear my volume because the only thing I was hearing was this. That was what was going in my ears the entire time. But as you can see by my gameplay, it's not the greatest in the world. I mean, first of all, just look at my hand cam. My hands are moving all over the place, and I had to deal with that this entire time. It was hard, but I mean, I can't complain. I did decide to do this after all. But it is a really different and also really cool beast because I practiced all of these stages so much on my way over. I practiced them in the flight. I practiced them in the hotel. I practiced these in the drive over as well when we were only going like 50 miles per hour. So it didn't really compare to what the real thing was going to be like. But I mean, we're not playing the worst in the world, and I say that as soon as there's a blue shell that comes. I forgot that even game. At the time I am releasing this video, it has been a couple months since we first recorded it, but it would also be pretty hard to forget how exactly this felt, so don't worry about that. Anyways, we are coming down to, I believe, the last part to this race. A cool part about this track is it's not just the same thing over and over again all 3 times. Each lap is going to be a completely different thing, which is another reason why I chose this one, just to give us a little bit more variety. And you're also going to see that in our next stage, which is going to be one of the Rainbow Roads. You know I couldn't end out a video without finishing with at least one of those, and also don't pay attention to me falling there. Anyways, we made it to the end of that one, and finally, now we're on to what I was both most excited for and pretty scared for, Rainbow Road. There's so many places you can die on this track, and I also had no idea how far into the speedrun we were. Obviously, since I was focusing on the game, I couldn't count the amount of laps we've made it onto, and I thought we were almost done with the race. I thought I didn't have any time at all, so I was like, I gotta finish this stage as fast as possible, and things like these red shells weren't really helping me with that. But the absolute amount of adrenaline that was going through me right now was insane. I mean, first of all, just look in the camera and see how close Rusty is getting to these walls on all these turns. Yeah, it was surreal. Also, I'm just realizing I never mentioned this. You probably noticed by the gameplay, especially if you play Mario Kart, but we're also doing this at 200cc, you know, kind of because I wanted the video where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going 200 miles per hour while I'm also doing 200cc, but I messed that up by only mentioning it now. Either way, I just thought that was the best thing, both for the time limit so we could actually get out 3 of these courses, and because 200cc, in my opinion, is the best way to play Mario Kart. Look, I'm a speedrunner. I just like going fast. It only feels natural for me. And I mean, we've done pretty well so far. We're on a Rainbow Road and we haven't fallen off a single time. And at this point, I was just ready to get out of the car and kiss sweet land. So I was saying to myself, I am definitely not going to mess up this final turn. It is a little hard with the 200cc, but it does give you plenty of room. And there's the end. We see the final part of this map, and there's also a red shell coming right after me, but we get the perfect photo finish and that's time 5:25. Yeah, this was a crazy video. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.